Tesla just got dethroned, and the company responsible. Most people outside China still can't pronounce its name BYD. This isn't a small shift, it's a seismic disruption. EVs that charge in 5 minutes. Hybrids more efficient than Toyota. Buses replacing fleets. Governments are buying. Cities are adapting. And while everyone's still watching Tesla, BYD is already ahead by miles. This isn't just about cars. It's about who controls the future of energy, transportation, and technology. And that future, it's not American, it's built in China, and it's wearing a BYD badge. While Tesla was making headlines, BYD was building the foundation of an empire, not loud, not flashy, just relentless execution. Back in 1995, no one saw this coming. BYD was a small Chinese company making rechargeable batteries, nickel, cadmium, lithium-ion, the stuff inside your phone. Founded by Wang Chuanfu, a rural chemist turned obsessive industrialist, the company wasn't chasing innovation for the spotlight. It was chasing efficiency. They weren't the flashiest, but they scaled like no one else. Cheap, durable, mass-producible batteries. That's where it started. Then, in 2003, they made a move that didn't make sense at the time. They bought a failing state-owned car company. Most people thought, okay, so what? A battery company wants to play car manufacturer. Wrong. This wasn't diversification. This was vertical integration before it was cool. BYD had the battery tech, now they wanted to control the car it powered. Not just the pack, the platform, the motor, the chassis, even the seats, everything in-house, everything BYD. And while everyone else was raising capital, outsourcing parts, or arguing about electrification timelines, BYD was already manufacturing the future. Legacy automakers were stuck in boardroom debates. BYD was already building EVs. Tesla was still sourcing batteries. BYD was building its own, on its own schedule. They didn't shout. They didn't posture. They just moved. And by the time the industry noticed, it was already too late. Here's what sets BYD apart. They don't wait on anyone. While other automakers depend on hundreds of suppliers just to assemble a single vehicle, BYD controls everything in-house. That means faster production, tighter quality control, and dramatically lower costs. Batteries, BYD makes their own. Chips, in-house. Motors, powertrains, software, final assembly, all BYD. This kind of control isn't just smart, it's lethal in a market that lives and dies on supply chain speed. Tesla, still reliant on Panasonic and Kale for battery packs. BYD, making their own, building on their own timeline, scaling with zero dependency. It's not just about avoiding delays. It's about owning the entire ecosystem, from the chemical composition of the battery to the stitching on the seats. And the result, a company that moves like a startup but scales like a juggernaut. Cheaper to build, faster to ship, easier to adapt. And now, nearly impossible to catch. This is what legacy automakers missed. This is what Tesla underestimated. BYD didn't just build cars, they built a machine that builds cars better than anyone else. 2008. This is where things went from local to global. That's when Warren Buffett, made a move that caught everyone off guard. Through Berkshire Hathaway, he dropped $20-30 million into BYD, buying nearly 10% of the company. Now remember, Buffett doesn't bet on hype. He avoided Apple stock for years. Tech plays aren't usually his thing. So why BYD? Because he saw what almost nobody else did, a disciplined, vertically integrated company building the future, brick by brick. And that investment, it changed everything. Overnight, BYD went from a niche Chinese battery company to a globally credible player. They started scaling aggressively, plug-in hybrids, full EVs, buses, taxis. And while American companies were still lobbying against EV regulation, BYD was already delivering thousands of electric vehicles across Chinese cities. This wasn't a pivot. It was a full-throttle acceleration into the future. And Buffett's bet, it wasn't just money, it was a signal. The kind that gets boardrooms nervous and competitors paranoid. 2024 changed the game. BYD didn't just catch up, they overtook Tesla on multiple fronts: in revenue, in volume, and momentum. They hit $107 billion in annual revenue. Tesla, the $97.7 billion. Let that sink in. This isn't a race anymore, it's a takeover. Even crazier, the scale. BYD sold 4.27 million vehicles worldwide, up nearly 10x from just 5 years ago. That kind of growth isn't normal, it's unprecedented. Most automakers celebrate 10% growth. BYD, they multiplied. And they didn't just dominate China, they started beating Tesla in Europe too. In Italy and Spain, BYD is already ahead. In Germany and the UK, they're closing in fast. These aren't one-off flukes. These are warning shots. Europe has been the fortress of German and American brands. Now BYD is scaling there with force. Let's talk tech. Earlier this year, BYD dropped their most disruptive weapon yet, the Super E platform. This new EV architecture can charge 400 kilometers of range in just 5 minutes. That's thanks to a 1,000 kilowatt charging capacity.
Yes.
1,000. For comparison, Tesla's superchargers top out around 250 kW, even the next-gen V4 superchargers. Still not in BYD's league. This isn't just fast, it's game-changing. Because if you can charge an EV as fast as filling a gas tank, what reason does the average buyer have to hesitate anymore? Suddenly, the biggest EV problem, charging time, is gone. And since BYD builds the vehicle, the battery, and the charging system themselves, they can scale this across models faster than anyone else. Tesla, still relying on external battery suppliers, BYD, running the entire stack. Now for BYD's real ace, the Blade battery. You've probably never heard of it. But this battery is shaking the entire industry. While most automakers still chase nickel, manganese, cobalt, MC chemistry, BYD went all in on LFP, lithium iron phosphate. It's safer, cheaper, more stable. And BYD didn't just use LFP, they re-engineered it. Instead of cylindrical or pouch cells, the Blade battery uses long, thin cells laid side by side, like you guessed it, blades. That design increases surface area and improves thermal management. Translation: no overheating, no fires. This battery passed the nail penetration test, a brutal industry standard where a metal spike is driven through a fully charged cell. Most batteries fail. Some explode. BYD's didn't catch fire, didn't even smoke. It stayed cool. That's not just impressive. It's a direct challenge to the rest of the industry. If you're still making batteries that can burn, you're already behind. On top of that, no cobalt, no nickel, just abundant, stable materials and a structural layout that gives BYD Tesla level range without the danger or cost. And BYD didn't stop there. They used the same Blade battery across their product line: cars, buses, even high-end vehicles. That kind of standardization. It slashes manufacturing cost and accelerates upgrades. But here's the real twist. What if the future isn't just electric? What if the smartest play is a mix, a hybrid that behaves like an EV, but sips fuel only when absolutely necessary? That's BYD's Super DM's dual-modded system, and it flips the whole concept of hybrids. Most hybrids lean on the gas engine and use electric as backup. BYD's Super DM flips that. Electric is primary. Gas only steps in when needed. This system hits a wild 434% thermal efficiency, which destroys most engines, even Toyota's best. The result? Plug-in hybrids that feel like EVs, but remove range anxiety altogether. Take the Song Plus DMI, 6 liters per 100 kilometers fuel consumption, instant electric torque, and no compromise on performance or comfort. These aren't low-end stopgaps. They're fully featured, high-performance hybrids designed for scale, not just compliance. In markets with weak EV infrastructure, Latin America, Southeast Asia, rural Europe, even rural America, these hybrids are the perfect bridge. And Tesla, still refusing to play in the hybrid space. That may turn out to be their biggest blind spot yet. Now here's where it gets strategic. BYD isn't just shipping cars. They're embedding into countries. In California, BYD is building electric buses locally, serving schools, airports, city fleets. It's not just about selling vehicles, it's about locking in public infrastructure. In Brazil, BYD tried to open a massive factory in Camaçari. Things got messy, labor issues, delays, but their intent was clear: plant the flag in South America. And next, Mexico. There's strong intel that BYD will set up production in Mexico to bypass US tariffs and use the USMCA trade agreement to reach American buyers. No need to import, just build across the border and ship in legally. It's smart, it's aggressive, and US automakers, they're not ready for it. This isn't just an automaker expanding. It's a coordinated global chessboard move, and BYD's already placing pieces in every direction. This isn't about who has the flashiest EV. It's about who owns the future of mobility. And BYD isn't playing for style points, they're playing for the entire board. While other companies argue about battery chemistries and tease concept cars, BYD is shipping vehicles, opening factories, and dominating new markets. Their EVs are cheaper, their hybrids are smarter, their batteries are safer, faster, and built to scale. This isn't just competition, it's collapse. And unless the rest of the industry moves fast, BYD isn't just going to win. They're going to erase the old guard one vehicle at a time. If you made it this far, you already know where the future is headed. Make sure you're riding with us. Hit that like button, smash subscribe, and drop a comment on where you think BYD will strike next. Big shifts are coming, and you won't want to miss what's next.